We got ourselves Team 2. We got ourselves Fruity Dad. Hey, man, how you doing? With Louie in the back, we got ourselves Hal Forsen, Malia, as well as Kata. Unless I'm looking at Hal Forsen right now. One of the... This is the same. But anyway, we got both of them. Malia looks like going to be a first up on Team 2. Gonna go for Invis versus Des. This is going to go for a late stealth. But that's going to be first out here. Stealth versus stealth. Malia, who is going to be... Well, looks like 4. Popping that Invis early. Walking actually right by the rogue. And actually, this is right behind him. If he would have went for that explosion, he would have been actually close. If he goes right, he actually gets the rogue out. That's going to be Des. Maybe you need him to go for a fast move set right now. Shadow Strike into Kiddish out onto Malia. Big blood of the enemy. Huge stress, but Malia goes in for... Ow! That is a really good play just now. And that's going to be Des. Actually, I was thinking Des for some reason was sub-rogue. No, that wasn't Shadow Strike. It was an ambush instead. Maybe ambush with the Garrod, went for a big vendetta, tried to go for a big one-shot combo, but that's going to be Malia escaping out of that bad wombo combo burst with Alter Time. That is a cooldown. We don't really get to see mages use that often, but it is insane once they figure out how to use it properly. Malia does go for mirror images, trying to reduce some of the damage they're taking, but still super low in health though. No, Malia, what happened? He had his whole setup. He had what do he have? He had Rune of Power, he had everything, but it looks like Des's dots or more than he could deal with. Louis is going to be up next on the other team. Sub-Rogue versus Assassination. Normally, Assassination wins in this kind of matchup, or at least has potential to win. Just the dots, if you just dot and run, there's no way that the Sub-Rogue can actually beat him. Des is going to pick up the eyes, going for Phantom Eyes. Does he see Louis? Actually could maybe get him out tagged. He looks like he doesn't go for it unless he didn't have the eyes. Did he not pick up the eyes? I thought there was a reason why he went out. Is there any eyes? I'm trying to see the other side. Yeah, there's eyes. So he just didn't even look for Louis. I guess Louis was just that well hidden. Maybe the Mog blended in with the background. Des is going to go for big damage onto Louis with a Dressing Out. Going to go for a Vanish as Louis goes in for a Blind Cloak of Shadows. And Des went in for a, I think, a Vanish. I think trying to go for a cheap shot. Maybe he was not able to do so. Didn't get a sap with the Des. It's going to be Des popping a big cool Des. Louis looking to get the hell out of there. Popping his own Vanish and bailing out of this situation. He is bled up. He is dotted up quite a bit using that Crucible Flame in order to catch up on a bit of heals. And looks like Des is going to go for a reset himself as well. Almost walked on top of Louis. Does Louis have dots still on him? Looks like Louis escaped all the dots and it should be good to go for now. Whoever finds each other next is going to be a pretty big play. Des, I think he might have used his human racial already to get out of stuns. He might or might have not. If he hasn't, he might have an advantage over Louis. Because Louis is going to be down on a trinket, but Louis hasn't popped off cooldowns at all. Still holding on to evasion. And I don't think Louis really went in for the biggest burst so far. It looks like Des went in, did blow his blow to the enemy, did use his Dressagath, kind of separated those two. It's going to be a stealth duel until these two find each other. So probably it's going to be a stealth duel until both of them get all the cooldowns back up, honestly. Unless they're walking next to each other. Does he see him? He does walk by him, looking to pick up the eye maybe. Or no, maybe he's just going to camp the eye. Where's Louis? Louis looking at the eye too. Now he's thinking, okay, well, if the rogue is not near me, maybe he's by the eye. But Louis is still thinking, okay, maybe, well, you know what? He hasn't taken the eye yet. So maybe he's still doing the same thing I'm doing. And looks like Louis finally able to get himself a proper opener onto Des. Going in for a very slow opener. Does get the rupture and everything. Blind by Des right afterwards. Louis did not follow up on ECC right after. Looks like Des is going to be able to get a proper opener. And Louis does have a ticket back up. Garrod cheap shot is going to be a big blood of the enemy. Louis vanishes, but Des can still see you though. Through a vendetta, and Louis does go down. Des just unloaded everything on you. Blood of the enemy, big dress, a vendetta. And Louis didn't even pop evasion. That's probably the first thing you should have used. First thing you should have done is probably pop that evasion. So at least you can at least face the enemy. Dress can dodge it. Attacks, you can dodge it. Unless Des goes for a shadow step, maybe get the shot. That's the only way you cannot dodge it. Looks like Kata is going to be up next on the other team. And Kata is going to be number 3. Okay. Boomy versus Des, the Assassination Rogue. He does burn through a lot of his cooldowns. Vendetta down. Evasion down. Cloak still available though. Has Garrod, so he has an advantage over Kata. Does get himself slice and dice rolling pretty early on. Trying to get a Kinder Shot. Going to be a roar out of Kata instead. Gets himself regrow just to make sure he's caught up on health a little bit as we are an 8% dampener. Des is looking to maybe kidney into the thorns. Cloak shot is coming out. So Kata, if he can somehow survive this burst after this, and no more cloak, he might actually be able to get a counter offensive rolling. Kata still holding on to a lot of his defenses, gets himself a bit of a heal, and as Rogue is in retreat, perfect opportunity for you to go for a lot of damage. At least getting the dots up and running to Des, looking to catch up next to him. The stars are falling, star surges are flying. And Des is actually taking quite a lot of pressure right now, no cloak. So it's going to be dots doing damage to Sunfire, Moonfire, as well as the stars. Gets himself a sippy cup and looking to maybe get a sap onto Kata. Does get a slow, and Kata, as long as he's able to power shift these, he'll be okay. Just looking to maybe get close enough. Corrode, getting a shot, maybe cheap shot instead. Kidney right after. A little bit of an overload. Big blood of the enemy could be a lot. Kata does have to go and burn a lot of defensive thorns available. Des, I don't really know where else he could really go, and down he goes. The Boomkin takes out the Assassination Rogue with Copy. Gonna be up next. Oh, I like your Mog on a female panda. That actually looks kind of good. If you did like the thing with your hair and made it blue, I think that would look maybe even better. But that looks good. Kata does catch himself in a restyle. It looks like the dots are still on him, and Copy is going to be able to get a flame shock out on him. Kata just needs to be aware of the interrupts as well. It does get an interrupt on the fire onto Copy. Lightning Lasso is the thing you should be aware of. Cyclone onto Copy. Does he trinket it? He chooses not to. And Kata does burn a bark skin for this one. It's going to go for a big damage. Incarnation available. Copy going to take a lot of hits from this, unless he can find himself some line of sight. Kata is trying to stay ahead of him, just trying to run ASAP. He's going to have to power shift in order to catch up to Copy, as Copy is burning his Spirit Walker's Grace in order to catch up a lot of those healing surges. But Kata is right behind him, catching on a couple of regrowths. Still looking to stay aggressive and offensive. And Copy is still taking quite a lot of damage. Does get himself a bit of a healing totem down. Lightning Lasso onto Kata, who is going to take the damage in full. And looks like Copy is going to be able to get behind the pillar, maybe catch up on a couple of heals. 20% dampener as we hit in that 8 minutes mark, boys. I actually like the way your shield looks. Like with this Mog, it's like a very, very simple shield. But I like it. It's unique. It's a triangle. Kata does try to see if he can maybe skirt around with stealth. Dots are going to get him out in the open though. That's going to be some dots on the Copy. Actually, that's another question I have here, boys. Did the pre-patch changes... Like, I got a video for it tomorrow, but the pre-patch changes, was there anything new today yet? Or not really? Copy got himself big zaps available, but I think the dots are going to melt him. It looks like the dots and the star falls is going to be another win secure for Kata, but Yandex is going to be up next. The Frost DK with Nazath Trinket, lots of utility, lots of survivability, versus Kata, who does also have a lot of utility, lots of survivability, but I don't really know if it's going to be that easy for him. Kata did dominate the Fury Warrior God Kragar last week, but is he going to be able to do much to Yandex? Yandex popping off defensives big time, popping off the heals too with a grip and a stun onto Kata, who only got Barskin to keep him alive. Bear form right after, maybe he's going to get himself some rolling for this. Into a disarm onto Yandex. He's still got plenty of abilities he could use to generate runic power. Bash onto Yandex does go for an IBF. That's going to be a big transfusion. No grip available for a little bit. That's perfect opportunity. Kata, the further you can get away from him, the better. Trying to go for a cyclone. Going to be an interrupt. Actually, juking that interrupt. That's going to be a full cyclone onto Yandex. No trinket available. And Kata needs to be aware of the grid, the stuns, and everything. Trying to see if he can go for a wrath. Actually going to get himself Incarnation rolling right after this. Yandex is going to be under a lot of pressure. Roar while he's in anti-magic zone. Probably going to be a grip. There it goes. Maybe a stun right after. Yandex walking out of anti-magic zone. Looking to get himself a lot of heal recovery. Thorns available for Kata. And Yandex is going to have to worry about his own health recovery for a little bit here. Disarm onto Yandex does get an Anvis rolling right after the disarm, so he's going to be kind of limited on the damage you can do. Big Star Search follows him in Yandex under a lot of pressure. Safeguard Chicken Procket right after this. That's going to be Death Pact to follow. That's going to be a lot of dots. A lot of damage kind of burning right into your health. He still has a portion of his health necrotic out, and you might be able to get a lot of recovery. Looking to get himself a heal as soon as the necrotics fall off, because he probably got himself a Crucible or two ready. Maybe? And I think Kata might just have to get aggressive in it. He needs to maintain the dots in order to get pressure onto Yandex. It looks like that is going to be a stealth, but Yandex does throw out the Whelp a little bit early. Dots are still rolling into Yandex though, and it does go for a little bit of a Crucible Flame in order to get himself up and running. If Kata can come in with Thorns, Yandex is trying to heal. It's going to be even more pressure on him, but that is a cooldown getting kind of thrown away. And Kata looking to get advantage. Does get a dots. Yandex needs to connect, needs to make the damage happen. Star Search is following. That's going to be probably dots melting him down and Kata taking him out. I think that's a 3 for 3 for Kata with Veto going to be up next. Dropping down Consecration, doesn't really get to see Kata. I think, so DK is a pretty wheelchair, right? I think maybe with a Paladin, it still is pretty wheelchair, but I don't think it's going to be nearly as difficult for Vito here. Yandex, mobility, none. Healing, limited. Vito, on the other hand, can heal a ton, even if you got no mobility. Thorns are up. It's going to be a Hodge. Big damage comes out for Vito. Huge damage. I think it's going to obliterate Kata. It looks like Kata does recover a little bit. Vito taking lots of damage out of nowhere. Where is this damage coming from? Looks like Kata was being proactive, trying to get some damage back to Vito. Does he go bubble? No! He does not even get the bubble off. And Cross is going to be the last one left, and Team 1 is this Boomkin just decimating the whole team. And looks like Kata is going to be able to dip out of there in complete stealth and just bail out of there. Oh, no. Oh, no. Yeah, this is a little bit rough for Team 1. The Paladin without the bubble, even though he had a lot of damage ready. And this is not even the nerf version of Paladin, because they are going to get nerfed. Cross trying to pick up the eye, couldn't quite do it. Had to wait there for a second to make sure he gets it. And Kata is like, you know what? I'm going to see me. I might as well get check up where he goes. Dampen is pretty high, 46%, and Kata just needs to find a way to burn through all the cooldowns from Cross. Again, another class with not a lot of mobility, so Kata could maybe abuse it, being a Boomkin. Getting the dots up and running onto Cross, which is good, as long as you can get into an Eclipse now. Now, that'll be perfect. More stars flowing, unless he doesn't run the talent for stars. Yeah, I don't really know what Boomies run. Do you run the big beam from the air, or do you go for the more stars every time you Eclipse? Because I don't really know what's the best in that kind of situation. Thorns available for Kata. Cross going in for AMS immediately. That's going to be a Spet leap in the end. But he can't really catch up to Kata at all. The dots are going to maintain. That's going to be Incarnation. Lots of stars getting thrown at Cross. Even though Disarm came out Bash, it's going to be IBF. Cross is actually at his wit's end. Needs to go for as much tanky playstyle. Needs to get next to Kata. Kata knocking him back. Does Cross have a grip? He does use the grip. Kata has the grip a little bit disconnected from a stun, but it's going to be some necrotic stacked up onto Kata. And Cross needs to catch up on health. Roar trying to disconnect him. Doesn't really do the best job of it. But Cross is still super low on health. Kata playing defensive. If Thorn's available for Kata, I think the dots actually just might do it. It looks like Kata takes him out in a 1v5 as a balance druid. The lack of mobility helping this Boomkin out big time. I actually do wonder what kind of a setup does he go for. Does he play? I need to know, chat. Because he doesn't play New Moon, Full Moon, Half Moon. I don't think he plays a Meme Beam. I think he plays more stars falling as you get eclipses. But I don't think he plays like